Okay, so let me show you guys the application that we've that Trisha had mentioned that is now available in the App Store. It's this is it right here. This is how you log into the app. I actually have created all of you user credentials too, which I'll forward you over after the end of this call. You just put in your information.
Just as a note while he's going through this, what we're going to be showing you today are basically test meetings that we've set up inside of Briefing Edge and inside the app. So these are not real client meetings. I just want to make that clear.
Yes.
Yeah, the good thing is everybody on the team gets copied on the email that is pushed out from Briefing Edge whenever you set a new one up. So they've seen the Design Reactor.
Oh, so you guys have probably seen the few Design Reactor ones come in.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, when you first log into the app, you'll notice the my meetings page that just populates all of the meetings that you, as an individual with your email, are associated with. So if I click on the New York EBC, you'll notice there's a number 4 next to them. So there's 4 meetings that I'm associated with. Today I'm going to walk us through the Design Reactor one that would from June 19th through 20th. So if I click on that, it's going to pop up the meeting overview page.
Sorry, Nirav, I wanted to mention something on the last screen.
Yeah, sure.
Just so everyone knows, this screen is, as Nirav mentioned, is personalized for you. So what the customer will see is going to be very different than what you would see. You'll see all the meetings that you are a part of or attached to. So if you're the program manager in one of the meetings, you'll likely have a number of these scheduled over time. Like if you're scheduling these a couple months ahead of time, then you're likely to have quite a few of them. When the customer comes in, the customer is most likely going to have just one meeting assigned to them. So they'll only see one here. But I just want to make sure that everyone understands that. It's based on what you're personally assigned to.
Within our EPC program, Trisha, what's the plan? That we would have just the meetings that we would be assigned to? So for your Charlene's involved in every meeting, but not necessarily the briefing manager.
Right. So you can see on this app how we could then possibly add Charlene. That role that Charlene has doesn't exist in Briefing Edge. So the briefing manager role exists in Briefing Edge, but you'll automatically be connected with that briefing because of that. The speaker role exists in Briefing Edge. So you'll be right, and the customer attendee role exists in Briefing Edge. Charlene's role as helping the manager doesn't exist. So there is a way that you can add her as an attendee, and then she will be connected to that meeting. But you'll see it. It's a valid question. Yeah.
And same would be Haley if she was doing a briefing in Santa Clara.
And if she needed to be on it, correct.
Yeah, got it. Okay, good. So there's a way to link it.
Yeah. So keep that question in mind as you see how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good question.
Trisha, I got a question. So this is pulling from Briefing Edge, and it's going to list everything that we're involved in. Does that also include internal meetings when we book stuff for other people, or is it just going to be full service briefing?
Yeah, it will just be the customer meetings, and we're going to have to set that up. It's a very valid question because there are some things like Gene and Kitty, you don't set up generally internal meetings, but Charlene does, and her app's going to get pretty cluttered. And
you can just, sorry, Trish, to interrupt you, but you can, in order to not have them be in the app, if you do put them in Briefing Edge, you just would not publish it to the app. So it's an easy one.
Okay, great. So when we go through that, that's another question. Yep. I'm keeping track of these. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll get into how to publish and unpublish meetings so that they're not all showing up in the app. Okay. So this is the first page that the user will come into to see the meeting overview. And as you can see, you on the top you have your banners switching up. You can add up to 6 banners there. Then the meeting information and and then all the other icons are pretty much where you find the information for the meeting. So if I click on my agenda, it's going to pop up what's being brought over from Briefing Edge, the attendees, and then e-content that's associated with the overall briefing, and then any travel and logistics as well. So if you need a map to the EBC New York, this will populate here.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm. And if you click on Google, the Google icon, it'll actually open up Google Maps, which is awesome because then people can put in directions from wherever they're coming from.
And maybe that screen before, instead of our 800 number, we would have the briefing manager number, or we would just have the EBC main line.
We can put in whatever you think is appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, this is loading, but
Your bandwidth is not very good.
yeah,
Something's going on.
I know. I noticed that too.
Not new. That's not new.
Yep. So then there's a
cute.
dining in hotels. So you can populate information around here. So I've put the Omni Berkshire Place in the Modern, and then any activities that you may that you may want customers to go to around the area. So I just added.
Yeah, excellent.
Great. Also, surveys come from Briefing Edge too, so these will populate. So it'll be brought over. But if you click on it, it'll load pretty quickly. Like Leon said, my bandwidth for some reason is terrible on my phone, but there you go. And I'll show you guys how this is all coming over. Then there's a slide out menu too for another navigation if you want another mode of navigation through the app. That's pretty much it. So now let me take you on over into the training, what we're going to go over today. So I've created this document here, which is, let me move this behind so it's not bothering your eyes. There you go. So I created this document, which I'll forward over to you, which is pretty much the step-by-step process on how to enter information in a Briefing Edge and then as well go into our system. So just to give you an idea, probably do about 85% of the updates in Briefing Edge and 15% in our CMS. And that way, and then after that, everything will come into the app after you publish it on our CMS. So this document specifies how to enter information in the Briefing Edge. I've actually highlighted all the Briefing Edge steps in blue, and then everything in our CMS that needs to be done in black. So in total, there's about 35 steps, I believe. Yep. So with that said, let me jump on into Briefing Edge.
Yeah, I mean, there's 35 steps, but a large portion of them you guys are already doing.
Exactly.
So that's the great part about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the first step, obviously, what you want to do is sign into Briefing Edge with your Briefing Manager level account. Then the second one is you want to schedule an event or briefing. But for this one, since we've already created an event, let's just say I want to update the existing event that we've created and go back and maybe add some agenda items and some speakers there. So I'm actually going to go into Center Calendar and find this briefing. Oh, great. That's not us. That's Briefing Edge. 1 second. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so if I hop up over to June 620, it should show up. Should have done monthly. All right, here we go. And there it is. I'm gonna edit the one that I created. This is a full service customer briefing. And I hit that right there. So as you can see, everything is already filled out, but you'd select your appropriate type of visit and whether it's been confirmed or if it's tentative, you can leave it. It's still going to pull into our system. The only time it won't is if it's canceled. So the remote is on site, so I've selected it's not remote. And I'm going to change the number of attendees now that I have a couple more people on the call. So let's just say I have 4 of you. So I'm going to just double this up and say 8 attendees in total. It's still a one-day event, and it's from it's on the 20th of June, so that's fine. The account segment is a partner, and the territory is HQ, so this is on site in New York, right? And the last part is the account manager is attending the visit, so we want to say yes. So in this instant, the account manager is Haley, so she'll be an attendee for the visit as well. And then I've added myself as a briefing manager for this instance, but if I want, I can actually change this out to anyone on the call. So let me do that. So that way I'm coming up as a customer, and I'll select Gene as the briefing manager for this specific meeting. All this other stuff is optional. It's not pulling over into our system, but I'm sure for your needs, you'd have to fill this out. For right now, I'm just going to leave that blank. All right. The next step is going into the account manager. So here we associated Haley as the account manager, and that's fine. So her email is associated with that, so it'll port over to our system as an attendee. And the next section is customer. So I've created Leon as a key customer contact here, and I've already added him to the attendee list. So after all of this has been put in, just click on this to make sure that they're added as an attendee. And then you're welcome to enter any of this information here on the bottom, but this stuff, only this stuff in the orange box is going to port over to our system. All right. The next is reason for briefing. So let's go into there. This is briefing. This is a CA process specific. None of this stuff is going to be coming over to our system, but you're more than welcome to fill out this information as you see fit. So I'm just going to leave this blank for now and move forward. And we'll jump into the agenda where we'll be doing a little bit more changes. All right, so right now let's say we have this meeting. We have this scheduled up until 12:45, but I want to update it a little bit and add maybe a couple of more speakers. So let's keep the agenda as is up until lunch and just change that last bit and add maybe 2 or 3 topics. So I want to actually change this detail, this wrap up and next steps to the end of the day. So let's do that by clicking change details or speakers. Right now it's at 12:30, but let's say we want to push this out till the end of the day from 3:45 to 4:30. One second. I'm still trying to figure out the Briefing Edge system sometimes with how to save things properly. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so it moved to 3:45. So let's fill in two or three more topics in between, and we'll be good there. So let's add a topic after lunch. So 12:30. Let's say we want to have a roundtable discussion, or yeah, let's just do something industry specific, and then we'll have a roundtable after that. I'm just gonna pick something for. There we go, and I want to make this at 12:30. Oops. And we'll go for an hour or two. Let's do 2:30. And I want to actually save with the speaker. So I'm going to make someone new. I want to make sure it's not selected here. And let's say I want to add Tamisha as a speaker to this one. Oh, she's not coming up. That's funny. You guys should be in the system, right?
But you know what? They don't show up as speakers. I think I do.
Oh, okay. So then I'll add.
Yeah, so
I'll just add Trisha right now as a speaker because I'm sure as you.
try put Trisha. Yeah.
Oh, put Trisha.
What I would show or try. Who did we use as a speaker the other day?
We used you.
Laura? Yeah, but we don't want Laura to receive anything. Oh, that's what we're trying to. Let me go back to my notes. One of us was in there as a speaker because I know you selected them.
Yeah. I know you were in there as well as Sky too. So let's see.
Yeah, I'm going back. Yeah, I was the speaker.
Mm-hmm.
I had Trisha.
Yeah, it's not coming up.
Try it under Trisha.
Yep.
That's really strange. No. You know what? Try my last name, Data. There you go. Just select. It was there.
Oh, was?
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's not it. No. That is not it.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, let me.
Oh, you know what? Haley's cleaning up our speakers. Haley, did you delete me?
No, I didn't delete you.
That's funny.
Oh. All right. Well, let me.
We do need a speaker, though, in order to do this.
Yeah, that's.
Let me quickly go in and add.
I can.
You can keep going and then come back to this.
Okay, sure. Let me just add another topic in the meantime. So I want to add a roundtable as well. So let me do that. I don't think that last one's saved. That's okay.
I am showing up as a speaker in the briefing system.
It must be anything with Patricia. No, not
Really? Let me try one more time. So you're selecting no up here. Only show speakers linked to this topic. So no, you don't want that.
Oh yeah, we got to change that.
Yep.
Let's change that with Briefing Edge because that's very annoying. Every single time I do it, you need to change that switch. It should be automatic another one.
Do it under
Yeah, it's not coming up. I'm going to save without the speaker for now. And then
That's really odd.
we'll add
We'll have
a,
to figure out why.
and then I'll add a roundtable discussion. From
You know what I noticed when you were just pulling up speakers?
uh-huh.
I saw Patrick Amsterdam pull up.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually, and yet he's not an active speaker right now. So I wonder if in fact it's mistakenly, and I know it didn't do this the other day, pulling up inactive rather than active speakers.
Oh, okay. So I just want to make sure.
So right now,
I want to just show that it's going to port attendees in. So let's add. Is it okay if I add Kitty as a speaker to this the roundtable topic?
Yep.
I got their email right? So this will actually port over as a. What should I put as your job title?
Right, you could just put test, just so we know it's yeah.
Okay. All right, so there's the, now that she's active, so I'm going to hit save. And hit save again. And now there she is as a speaker. Okay, that's great. So now we have one topic that doesn't have a speaker and then one that does have a speaker. And this information now will get ported over to our CMS. So let's go ahead now and just confirm everything else is looking good here. So no overlap in terms of timing. Yeah, so everything looks great. So what I'm going to do next is just update this, hit update. And the next section is just adjusting. I don't need to adjust any visit times, but I want to confirm all the correct customers are coming in as attendees. So the next section are in attendees. All right. So right now, Leon came over from the attendee list, and I have myself as another customer, as well as Glenda, and then down here I have Haley and Patricia as well. So I don't need to add Jean, which I made the briefing manager, or Kitty, which I made a speaker to this list. They will automatically come over into our CMS now. So this looks great. This last section is visit document. So if you have any e-content, you're welcome to use this. However, there is a 10 megabyte limit. So our recommendation and best practice is actually to use our system for content. So you can save the meeting and not upload content here in Briefing Edge because we don't have a 10 megabyte maximum limit on our system. All right. So that's pretty much it. What you do on your Briefing Edge side, and then you would come over to our CMS, which is this URL, which I'll pass on to you, and you'll have admin rights to log in, admin credentials, which I'll pass along to you as well after this call. Okay, so after you log in with your credentials, you want to select meeting on the top navigation and search the name and the venue of the meeting you'd like to publish to the app. So if I click on meetings up here, the whole database will pop up. And you'll notice everything will be in here from the system, but the ones that are only available to the app are the ones that have been published. So you'll see the few ones that are clicked in blue have been published to the app. All right. So once you find your meeting,
Everyone, it's meetings in this list.
Because we're going to get notifications.
Yes. So please don't check anything other than the meeting that you actually are going to start to engage people into the app with. So, okay.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Question before I forget. So when we go to this part of it, will the speakers automatically get notifications as well?
When you say no,
Okay. So
yeah, go ahead.
this is the question about how we notify the participants that the app is available. So I think you're going to come to a screen that shows.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we'll have a.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that screen, and there's a couple different ways to trigger either an email or a notification. So we'll talk through that.
But this publish here just sets it up, but it doesn't necessarily communicate to anybody yet. Is that correct?
Well, there's two ways we're going to implement that. So one is, as a default, when you hit publish here, it can automatically send the email or notification to the people that you will have checked to receive it. Or we can set it up where it won't automatically email or notify them when you hit publish, and then it would require you to go into that area where the email goes out, and then actually trigger the email that way. So there's two ways that we're going to set that up. We'll just figure out the one you want to have.
Yeah, so Liam, this is one of those big items we talked about, which is where we can't use the automatic notification right now because we want to be able to control the different times of when people are invited.
Yep.
And I think that what you're saying is that you need to check that other screen first before you publish to make sure the notification is off.
Yeah, right now this is set up where it's not going to send a notification or an email. That's the way it is right now. But in a couple weeks, we will enable that feature again, and we'll just need to. I'll ask you, and you'll tell me. Most likely, you'll say no. We want it to default it off, and we want people to trigger it through that area of the email. But right now, it's all turned off, so no one's going to receive an email or a notification.
Okay, that's it. That's important, and I think everyone else is going to understand it better when you show that other screen, which is where the email notification is checked off.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. All right. So once you find your meeting, you want to click on the pencil icon to view the details. The best practice is not to have this published before you want to verify everything's coming over from Briefing Edge appropriately and to make any other adjustments or edits in our CMS before publishing. So I want to click the pencil right here, and it'll pop up all the meeting information. So you'll notice a lot of information is coming straight from Briefing Edge. The meeting name, there's no description field in Briefing Edge, so nothing came over from there. But if you'd like to add a description, you're welcome to. It's only 140 character count. The venue ported over. The meeting type is a meeting, so that's correct. The room name actually came over as well, and then the date of the actual event, the meeting is coming over as well, as well as the client and owner. So since I was the initial owner, that's why my name's coming over right now. But one thing I need to mention is the client logo needs to be updated here. I already have an image associated to this meeting. But every time you create a meeting, you would want to have a client logo that's specific to that briefing. For this example, I've used CA Technologies, but if you wanted to brand it towards a sponsor or towards a partner, you're more than welcome to enter that client logo here.
How many logos can we put in there, though?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How many logos will fit in there, though?
In this section. Yeah, in this section, it'll just be one logo, and let me show you that and how it looks in the phone where that logo pops up. So if you notice right here, that's where this logo is coming in from. So this will be branded specifically to whatever you upload here. Does that answer your question? Great. Okay, cool. All right, so that's the meeting information. So everything looks good there. You're welcome to edit stuff if you need to. And then the next section is selecting the attendees. So all we want to do here is just verify the correct attendees are assigned that were assigned in Briefing Edge are in this meeting. So I want to make sure the selected feature is coming up. And you'll notice everyone, whether they were speakers, briefing managers, project managers, account managers, they're all coming over properly. So in this use case, Leon, myself, Patricia, and Haley were already part of the meeting, but Jean and Kitty were just added in Briefing Edge, and now they're attendees in our system too. So this looks correct. You got all the right speakers, the right attendees, and the right briefing managers in here. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, and just to go back to what Leon was talking about earlier, how to email attendees to know that they've been added to the meeting for the app. This is how you would select this, and then it would say, "Are you sure you want to send an email to all participants?" And you'd click yes. But I'll click no for right now. But that's something for the future to keep in mind. And yeah, the next section is just verifying the agenda. So right next to the attendees, I want to click the agenda option. And here, all the information associated with the topics will port over. So your topic name, your discussion leader, or your speakers, and their respective time blocks that we set them up for. So as you can see, we have Kitty now assigned as the roundtable discussion leader, and we didn't select a speaker for the financial services, so that's why it's blank right now. We can actually edit items within, so you can actually edit your agenda topics here. I know in Briefing Edge, you have a drop down to select the names, but if for whatever reason you wanted to change maybe some of the naming here. Whoop. Got a little bit of feedback. But yeah, so within the CX CMS, you'll be able to update specific agenda items after they port over from Briefing Edge. So once you click on this pencil right here on the side, it'll pop up the information you can update. So you can add a lot of information here, and you can change the name of a topic. You can actually, you notice that there's no speaker associated with the financial services, so no one's a presenter. So let me show you one that has Kitty associated with it. So if I go here, Kitty's selected as a presenter, but let's say you wanted to add another one, you're more than welcome to do that here. But you have that ability to add co-speakers in Briefing Edge, so there's really no reason. This is more of a verification step. If you did want to change this roundtable discussion to another name, you can. I'm just gonna, let's say roundtable.
And if we changed it in Briefing Edge, would that change push over for the agenda?
Yeah. So your question is if you change. I know you have drop downs in Briefing Edge, so you don't really have the ability to change the text. But if you change it to another topic, yeah, it will get updated into our CMS.
Now, there's actually a field in Briefing Edge where it pulls the standard name, and then there's a field under it that says what is the name you want displayed on the agenda.
Oh yeah, then let's.
So I'm not sure which field you're pulling.
Oh yeah, this is how this field right here, right? Yep. Yeah. That's correct. So let's just. I'm going to change. It takes about 5 minutes to port over, but let's say I'm going to call this roundtable powwow instead of discussion. Just keep in mind though, it takes about 5 minutes to come over to our system, so it's not going to be instantaneous. But let me take you through the other things that you can actually update on our end from the CMS. So this is that 15% I was talking about to come in to our CMS and update information. You can actually add floor plans to the map. So if you have a good if you have a floor plan of the Tribeca room, you can actually upload it as a static map. So it'll show up as a map to that specific agenda item, so the user knows, the customer or attendee knows where to go for that specific topic. And then you can also add content specific to that agenda item. So right now, if you wanted to, you can associate this content item to that agenda item by just clicking that pencil, the select icon.
So that's an interesting new functionality. So for example, if there was a good customer success story or a white paper that the speaker wanted to even, mentioned on a prep call that we should share, you can connect it through the app prior to the meeting. You could also add it after the meeting, but
Yeah, that's correct. And that's a great example for before they wanted just a know before type of case study. And then let's say there's a presentation that's been scrubbed after it's been presented and they want that accessible in the app. You're more than welcome to add that to that specific agenda item here. And I'll go ahead and get into the details of how to put information in, how to load content into our system. But yeah, that's pretty much how you update agenda items. The next step are notifications. So in notifications, you have the feature. This feature, you have the ability to push smartphone notifications to attendees. There is a 120 character limit to notifications, and they can either be scheduled or they can be sent immediately. So if I want to
so
send,
a nice use for this, because I know it's been brought up in the past, is one of our customers lands in New York JFK at 5:30. You could schedule a notification to go out to him or her at 5:45. Just say, "Welcome to New York. We look forward to meeting with you tomorrow." So you can pre-schedule that. You don't have to go in at 5:45 and push that notification out.
right. So exactly. So let's say I want to do it the day before they land, or before the meeting, and set it for 5:45. So it's as simple as that. And you can select all the attendees or specific attendees in this drop-down. So you can schedule notifications to go out to either all the attendees for all the agenda items, the discussion leaders only, people with CA domains only, or you can go in and actually hand select which attendees you want to get this notification.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, another thing to use this for is that for CA attendees, you can push out a notification the day before and just say, "Reminder, it's business casual dress tomorrow," or something like that. But there's clearly ways that we could use this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So right now I'm just going to say for all attendees and all agenda items, and you can actually link them to whatever you want within the app, or you can use an external URL as well. So for this one, I'm actually...
How do they get the notification? How does it come in? Do they have to go to the app and click on it, or does it come in text, or how do they get the notification?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it actually works just like any other smartphone notification gets pushed, whether it's a Facebook notification or Instagram. It'll come in through the OS. So if they're not in the app, they'll still get the notification. Or if they have their screen locked, it'll pop up on their phone saying or engage CA notification, and then it'll say the notification right there.
Wow, that is amazing. That's really great.
Yeah.
No one has ever been like, "Hey, I don't want to communicate with me like that." Everyone is so used to these instantaneous. I mean, I'm just wondering. Sometimes we deal with CIOs and C-levels. I'm just wondering if there's ever been any pushback on.
Oh yeah, totally.
Is it ever considered intrusive?
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So that one's scheduled. I'm going to save that.
And Kitty, I think along those lines, we need to be sensitive not to over push this.
So, hey, what you doing?
Yeah.
How's the food in the restaurant?
That's funny. You can take polls, which I'll jump into also. So, like if you
Yeah.
If you really did want to ask that question, how is the food? You can poll those questions at a given time too. All right. So you'll notice
Wow,
there's two sections here: queues, notifications that are queued up, so the ones that haven't been sent out, and then ones that have been sent out. So you have the ability to backtrack to see which ones were sent out or which ones are still pending to be sent out. Yep. Just keep in mind though, the messaging has to be under 120 characters. All right. So.
And then for example, here's a question.
Uh-huh.
If the briefing manager pushed out a notification just to the account manager, so the salesperson, right?
Uh-huh.
Can the salesperson respond to them, and only the briefing manager sees it?
When you say responds to it, they'll be able to view the notification and take it to wherever they need to. But it's not a messaging. It's not like a.
It's not okay.
It's not peer-to-peer messaging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. So now the next section is content. Before I jump up here into content, I want to just show you how content's uploaded into our system. E-content actually has to first be uploaded to the main library, which is in this top main navigation bar up here. So if I click on that, and we'll come back to our meeting in a bit, it's gonna populate all of this content. I want to make sure that a specific content item is associated with the New York EBC. So I know I've created the global success one as EBC. What was it? I think it was global partner success or customer. There it is. So let's edit this real quick, and you'll notice when you have your content in here, after it's been uploaded, you have the ability to associate it with specific venues. So this one's just associated with the New York EBC. So what that means is any meeting that you create in Briefing Edge under the New York EBC, when you come into our CMS, you would be able to find this this file specific to that meeting. And I'll show you how to do that right now. And its sharing will be automatically off. Right now I have it on for this specific content item, and the access is not restricted, so all attendees can view this. But if you wanted to restrict it, you can actually say someone from a certain domain would not have access. So let's keep that as is. And let me actually just add another content too. I'm gonna add a link to the EBC. So let's just say NYC, oops, EBC homepage. I'm going to keep this, I'm going to show you the converse side. You can either add a file, which is PDFs, a presentation, or URL. So any document versus any URL. And let's go ahead and use this one.
So if we use the URL,
then
if that is there's a good and a bad there. One, and we'll just have to sort this out within our team, but the good is that if that document gets updated, then we have the updated version. The bad is that if that document goes away, we have a broken link without realizing it.
Right. And just to add to that, Patricia, is when you're adding all these new meetings are coming over, the content gets you have to reload the content typically. So you can just spot check that real quick in the app to see if it is a broken link. But yeah, that's a great point. All right, so I've added the URL here, and I want to make sure this is accessible to the New York EBC because it's an EBC based in New York. And I want to make sure it's shareable and yeah, restricted access. That's correct. So we'll hit save. And now I want to go back into our meeting. So this is the second part. So we want to navigate back to the specific meeting. So I'm going to go up here to the meetings, click on that, and I'm going to search again that meeting. So you can either, I mean, it's right here in the drop down, but notice there's a lot of pages. So sometimes your meeting won't just show up on the first page. So you can easily just search by the name of the meeting as well as where the meeting is at. And then if you hit go, all of those meetings are going to show up. And here I just click on the pencil, so you can do that. And come back into content. Oh, this is the wrong one, sorry. I almost selected the wrong one. I want to go to 620. There we go. And pop back into content. So I already have the global customer success associated to this meeting, but I want to add that new one, which was titled homepage, I believe. What did I call it? NYC EBC. Bear with me for a second. Did I not save it? Oh, I guess I didn't save it. All right, I think I know what happened. I forgot to put that first title in, which is what you search for, so that's why. There it is. It's associated with New York. And if I go back, now it should show up. So we close this out, add content, and search for it. Here it is right here. But like I said, if you want to, you can easily search up here. And there it is. And it's as easy as just selecting that and hitting select. And now it's e-content in the app. All right, great. Now also, let's say I wanted to add this specific content to an agenda item. I can go back into the agenda and I can say, okay, let's add it to this first welcome and agenda review. I want to associate that website to this specific content, and that's all the way down here on the bottom. So you'll see everything that's associated to this meeting or to the NYC EBC already populate here. So just click that and hit save, and that content item is now part of the application, that agenda item. And I'll show you that how it looks in the app as soon as we finish this part. But that pretty much wraps up the content aspect of the CMS. The next section are meeting surveys. Before I move on, do you guys have any questions? All right. Okay. So trucking along. The surveys are obviously populated in Briefing Edge, and they're attendee specific, so they'll port on over from the system into our system, from BE system into ours, and that's going to be. Notice how Jean doesn't have a survey associated to her because she's a briefing manager, and Tricia had mentioned that briefing managers don't have surveys associated to them, but the customer survey is going to be different than the CA surveys. The host survey is correct. And yeah, that information just comes straight over.
Right. And, I think it'll be more intuitive once we have real names. Is, is it, it's something just to lock in this isn't critical, but it would be nice if there was a tag that said what role they're playing in the meeting. So if they're coming from the customer attendee page or the account team attendee or the briefing manager.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So like having like briefing manager under Jean's name. Yeah, no, that's good feedback. I'll take that down as a note.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, can it like run alphabetically? Because otherwise, sometimes it's just get quite long. And so I was thinking the same thing, Trish, some kind of order. But that would be good as well. If I think that might be better if it's all by the role that they have, then we can clump them together.
And would you rather see it sorted by role or by alphabetical?
I think role, because then all the sales speakers going to be, all the sales hosts going to be together, and otherwise alphabetical, it will still be a mix. So I think role is better if that can be done.
Right, and then if you could sort alphabetically within role, that would be ideal.
Yeah. And Leon, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's definitely in our roadmap for an update, right?
Yeah, can you describe it again?
It's just alphabetical.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Tricia. I'll let you go ahead and say it.
It would just be adding a role, because that Jean is the briefing manager, but it's just actually tagging her as briefing manager on this page, and then tagging the account team as the account team, and tagging the customer as the customer, and tagging the speaker as the speaker. And then the way the attendees are displayed is they're displayed in groups by role, and then alphabetically.
I see. Yeah. So that's something that it is on the roadmap. It needs, because of the integration with Briefing Edge, though, we would want that to automatically tag them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that we need to look at doing. So we can get back to you, Tricia, on when we can get that in. But I think that'd be a nice feature, so people kind of understand at a first glance of who's who and what their role is.
And you are already pulling that information because you're giving the right survey link to the right role.
Right.
So
Exactly.
It does know it.
Yeah, we are. What we need to do though in the system is that we want to put it on the interface of the app, and since those people, one meeting you may be, the program manager, and then another meeting you may just be simply an attendee. So we have to have it with the way that the database works and everything. We just have to have it easily tagged depending on what role you're placed in.
In that meeting. It's
in that meeting. Exactly. Yeah, because it could be like if you were in a meeting for one customer, you could be the program manager, but in the next meeting you could be the discussion leader, and then another meeting you could be the attendee. So it needs to automatically tag you based upon how you were entered into Briefing Edge.
For that meeting, correct?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Yeah, so that's the meeting survey. So you can just, obviously it's going to be the right survey. So if you want to just quick sanity check and just make sure it's being associated to the right survey is being associated to the right person, just go ahead and open it up, check it out. And this one is associated to Patricia, so it should be a, customer's experience. So it's from the host perspective, which is correct. All right. The next section is the activity stream. So the activity stream is more along the lines for events, big events, because it allows for collaboration or people to engage themselves with the community. So, right, it's defaulted as off because for EBCs, we typically don't see activity streams turned on. However, in the future, if you do see a good use case for that, you can use the activity stream. And what that does is,
What?
yeah, what that does is it pulls.
Go ahead. Carry on the thought, because I just like to see what this means.
Yeah, sure. So what it does is it'll pull in social media handles and tags that are already out there, whether it's Instagram or Twitter, and it'll pull that information out. So if I hit edit on the social media feed, you'll see that I have the Twitter handle CA Inc. So it's going to pull in all information from CA Inc. And I've only set it for 5 posts in the past to pull. But if there were specific hashtags to an EBC, if you wanted to market it that way, you're more than welcome to add that in, and it'll pull in that information. So it'll take @ signs and it'll take hashtag signs.
Hey, Nirav, why don't you just demo this real quick to them?
Yeah, do.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so why don't you turn it on and then just demo it? This particular feature is really good for collaboration with the customers coming into the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And just so everyone knows, we use our app platform for a lot of corporate events also. And so this feature is extremely popular with events where there's, a couple hundred people, and people have the ability to post things, look at social media in the app. With our EBC clients, though, we see this feature being used maybe 25% of the time. So with particular customers that are really into collaborating prior to the EBC meeting and after the EBC meeting, that collaboration conversation may continue on. This feature would be a really big kind of success because they have the ability to ask questions, they have the ability to look at social media, they have the ability to post images. Like if you did a fun dinner with a client, and you take pictures at that dinner, you could post these in here. And all of the information is secure just to the people that were invited to that meeting. That's the other thing to really point out. So it's only the attendees or the discussion leaders or the program manager that was invited to that EBC meeting would see this information.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you add, I see like clearly Twitter and Instagram, right? But what if you had a photo? Would you have to then post that photo somewhere that you could then link to?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah.
Yeah, there's okay, so let me walk you through this. There's basically 4 different types of feeds. And you can turn on or off any of these 4 feeds. Okay? So the first feed is basically items that you are only posting in the app as an attendee of that meeting. So if you're an attendee of the meeting, which would mean you're either a discussion leader, program manager, or the customer, you can post images or text from that meeting, and it's all secure just to the people that are invited to the meeting. The other feed that again you can turn on or off is what we call managed posts, which would just be people at CA that could post. So this could be your account manager, your program manager that may want to post a video of a product or software service. It could be a use case. You can post videos in there. You can post images in there as well, and text comments. So those are the ones that are very, very secure to the app, and only the people invited to that meeting would see that data. Now, the other 2, which you can turn on or off, is Twitter and Instagram. And Twitter is anything that anyone on the planet publicly puts on Twitter that has your hashtag in it or your @ in it. So this is really good for prior to the meeting, the customer coming in, reading the latest stuff that's going on with CA, finding out some of the big things that are going on. So it's really whatever your social media and your marketing team are publishing on Twitter.
You get a flavor.
Yeah. So it's kind of, the Twitter and Instagram is kind of nice to do for brand new customers to kind of get to know CA a little bit better. And that's convenient. Yeah, the managed and the attendee posts are really ideal if you have a customer that it's a fun customer. They want to post things. You're taking them to dinner. That kind of thing is a really kind of great thing to have. And again, you can either turn on or off the activity feed per meeting. It's defaulted off. So as you set up your meetings in Briefing Edge, it's automatically off. You need to go into our system to turn it on. And then you can select which of the 4 feeds you turn on and off as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's pretty powerful, though.
Right, but you do it at a meeting level.
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
You do it at a meeting level.
Right, okay.
Yeah. It's something I would definitely pilot. I know, Trish, you're going to roll this out internally first. It's something I would pilot with your group of people here. Play around with it, and then maybe decide piloting with a particular customer, maybe one you guys know really well, or the account team feels comfortable with. But it's something to definitely try out. It's a really powerful tool, and we've gotten amazing responses from the feature from other customers that have used it. So.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, I love it. I have a question. So, where is the logistics portion of the customer information with this?
Are you talking about the travel aspect?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a travel and logistics area that Nirav will show you here, and then one element that we're still integrating for you, and part of this is we need to get an update from Briefing Edge, but is that we are going to have this final tab be their personal travel logistics. But it does require Briefing Edge to actually build a new API for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, Trish, if you got Nirav's note on that yesterday.
I
But,
did.
we did. Yeah, we did talk to Tom. So.
Yep.
So, Kitty, it's on the list. It's not going to be in there for our initial use. Okay. Yeah.
So we have to just remain sending in a separate email.
Yeah, which I know. That's why, hopefully, since we're just going to be using this internally,
Yeah, well,
that by the time we get comfortable and ready with customers, we'll have that other piece. Because it doesn't make sense to be. That is like one of the most obvious things that customers are going to want on their app.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, Trish, it's going to be hugely important, obviously, to use that agenda builder in Briefing Edge to make this work effectively. Maybe on our next team call we can talk about any challenges we're having with that agenda builder. Because
Absolutely. Because I think that big cleanup that we've just almost completed, and that we've added new fields that are in there to select speakers on, like department, right? Or the state,
yes,
are actually going to help you find speakers. So,
right, yeah. It's going to be easier to put together. It's cleaner, but my main concern of that is sharing the agenda to make and that it look pleasing. And so I don't know what it's going to look like in this app. I mean, is it going to look just like it does in Briefing Edge?
No. So the app you're going to see displayed in an app format.
Okay.
If you want to link the final document in like a PDF, then that's an attached piece of content.
Okay, so it's going to look like that, right? Okay.
Which is the right way to display it in an app.
This is fine. And how often do you say the feed is updates?
The activity stream feed, that updates. It pulls the last however many posts you associate to the activity stream. So let's say CA Inc. It's going to pull the last 50 from Twitter.
No,
I meant the updates on Briefing Edge.
Oh.
If you change the agenda in Briefing Edge, how long does it take to
yeah.
update it in the app?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I understood the question. So that'll be every 5 minutes we get information from Briefing Edge. So it'll update every 5 minutes. Yep.
So what's really cool about this, and we've all been in that situation, is if an agenda needs to be updated for the afternoon because the morning got completely backed up, and then you're going to change timing.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually go in,
That's right.
update it, and everyone will have the updated new time.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, and just on that note, I'll tell you that what Trisha just hit on is super popular about the app. There's customers, and you guys have probably seen this every week, but there's customers that will start UBC meetings, and one agenda item goes a little too long because the customer's really into that one agenda item, and obviously that it's a big initiative. So a 1 hour agenda item turns into a 3-hour agenda item, and then that messes the schedule up, right? What you'll easily be able to do is just go into Briefing Edge, adjust the schedule, hit save, and then 5 minutes later, everyone's app that's in that room is updated with the correct agenda. And you can then even send them a notification just saying updated agenda, and that notification will actually link them then to the agenda. So it's a beautiful thing. People love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really good bonus. Yes.
Oh, sorry about that.
And for the briefing manager, it's so fewer steps, right? Then we don't have to go reproduce a new agenda, go print it out, update everyone's calendar, invite through Outlook. It's so much more instantaneous.
Yeah, trying to keep it simple and easier for everyone. Definitely.
Right.
All right.
And we'll see if we get to the point where ideally we wouldn't even have to print those go to ground. But yes, we see.
Yeah, gotta go green, right? Eventually.
Yep. Yeah. Everyone's going to save the planet.
All right. So, oh yeah, sorry. Did you have any other questions?
So, Trisha, we're going to plan to roll it out just to CA speakers and use it within the team right now, and the hosts obviously at the meeting.
Well, the speakers and the account team. I think it's going to be a huge value with the account team. Because it's now going to be a tool where they can get the latest version of the agenda.
Yes, without asking. Yes.
Good. All right. Now, the one thing, if you can clarify, so let's say we start using this, we're going to have, okay, this is important. How do we notify people that they should download the app? So go back to the screen where it says attendees, if you would. Okay. So we are not going to email new attendees, and we're not going to email all attendees because you are going to have customers in there, right? So what you're going to have to do, and we'll create the text,
The
right?
copy.
Is that you're going to send them an email that tells them where to go to download this app, and then what we're going to want to do, because we are not going to invite customers initially, is that we're going to want to link customers to the LinkedIn. Because when you invite a speaker or an account team, the first time they're invited, we can either link their information or they link it. Haley, I think you said it was pretty straightforward when you did it. I haven't done it yet. But
yeah, it was pretty straightforward. It was just kind of a click of the button, and then all my LinkedIn description.
Oh, you linked to their profile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me show you that.
Yeah, it'll
How do you do that?
So, if you notice on each of these attendees, you'll see a little LinkedIn button associated. So all of her information came in from LinkedIn here.
But it's because Haley, when she set up the app and she downloaded it, she linked herself to LinkedIn.
Right. Yep.
And it asks you that. That's a specific ask when you download it.
Exactly.
Okay,
You can also, just so everyone knows, you can also
Very
go
good. It's beautiful.
you can also go into the back end of our system and add that to a user as well. Like you could add it to your executives if you wanted to, just to help them out. So it doesn't
Yeah, I
have
like
to be
to.
done by the individual. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, we're going to have to do it for customer attendees because customers aren't going to be signing up for the app. yet our users are going to want to see the LinkedIn bios to the people that are coming.
Yeah,
We'll do it manually to start with.
and let me just show you that real quick.
Show us where to do that, yeah.
So if I pulled up your information, Kitty, right here, you'll notice in the attendees, sorry, let me just back up. So on the top navigation, if you click on attendees, and then you search for the specific person, you just click on that pencil icon to edit, and then you'll notice there's a whole bunch of fields that you can update based on this profile. So obviously you have your first name, last name, and email, which are required. Then you can add the company name, the title, the region, etc. You can actually, and then this is where you would put in their LinkedIn URL right here. So that way they get, if they click on that LinkedIn button, it'll take them directly to their LinkedIn profile. And then if you have a specific bio based on that customer or executive, you can actually populate that information right here in this text box. And
But if you don't populate that, it pulls in, does it pull in any short bio from LinkedIn or just
so it'll only
or do both?
yeah, it won't do both. It'll only do that if you when you're initially logging into the app and you click on the LinkedIn button to port information over. It'll prompt you to add more information there. But from an admin level side, yeah, you'd have to do either or both of them.
Manually.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? We can mess with this and see the way it's displayed. But the good news is you're going to be the only one seeing it when you set it up.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then you can choose to invite the account team and speakers when you're ready.
Yep, that's right. And you can also upload images. So a lot of folks won't have their images when they log in for the first time. But if you have a nice headshot of them from LinkedIn, you can just save that locally to your computer and then browse for it and put it in right away.
But will it pull the image from LinkedIn if you put that link there?
Not on the back end, no. Only when the attendee has that ability. Only when they when they log in for the first time and they link LinkedIn.
Oh, I see. So if the attendee does it, it doesn't have. I see.
It's because it's a security qualification that LinkedIn, you have to be the actual person that accepts.
Take from the site,
For the app to actually pull your own personal image and all that information. So it's something we can't do on the back end. The individual person has to do that.
I have a question. I just got disconnected when I was asking it. That password requirement, is it a relatively simple request? It's not anything that, 7 letters, a symbol, and a capital.
Yeah, so that's
It's pretty.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's pretty simple. It's just you can make it whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Simple word.
And
You can make it very simple. Like
We don't want to
I just use for mine on every customer that I'm involved with. I just use 1, 2, 3, 4. So so you can make it as simple as you want. The only thing that may pop up is if for some reason down the road your security team wants to make it more complicated, then they may force us to do that. But right now, it's pretty simple.
yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
And just to add to that, right now, what our system is doing for any new attendee that's added from Briefing Edge into our system, we're giving him the default password as CA1234.
Okay, we should bear that in mind. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, great. So the last section actually I was going to go through was the polling in the meeting, which polling is, we touched on it a little bit, but let's say you wanted to get a good feel of the group and you wanted to ask a question. You can ask any question actually. So here's one that I already created. What is your favorite color? But let's add another poll. And you have the ability to ask a question, but you have either a 2-answer, multiple choice, or a 3-answer. So let's say I want to ask another. What's your favorite food? Like favorite cuisine, maybe. What's
That's cool. We could do that.
and then you can say what
big?
What else is big in New York?
Sushi.
Sushi. There you go. And then you can say thanks for your input. And if you have a URL to take them to, let's say, a Yelp or something, I don't know. This is an optional field, but once they finish taking the poll, you can associate them with the link. I'll leave that blank for now, but it is.
And who gets the answers? The briefing team only?
So yeah, let me.
Or they can all see the polls come in. They all have access to that.
Almost. That's a great question, Kitty. So let's polls are actually associated with notifications. So even if I click post right here, it's not going to post until I associate it with the notification. So this is like a library of polls that I want to send out at some point. But now let's say I want to schedule out to send these during dinner or during the morning meeting. Go into notifications and I actually hit schedule notifications over here. And then let's say this is favorite cuisine. And then I can say in the message, please take the poll on your favorite, I can't type, favorite cuisine.
Favorite Christian.
Yeah. And then I can set it out to send to a certain time.
I just want to get results. I like you see that bar chart moving up and down, up and down. I don't know if they were able to see that.
Oh yeah, let me show you real time. Actually, let me do that. I'll just shoot this poll out immediately. Here, that's a great, and I'll show you in the app how it looks. And then you can, now here's where you select who you want to send out this poll to. So you can either select the specific attendees, or you can just shoot it out to everyone, or the CA only people. So
you could cherry pick.
Exactly, yep. So I'm going to just select all attendees for this one, and then I want to link it. Now I want to make sure I link it to the right poll, right? So I want to select the polls.
Yeah.
And then I want to make sure I'm selecting out of the polls that are in that library which one I want to associate this with. So that's going to be this one. And then I hit save. Let me pull up my phone too so you can see how it comes in. All right, so hit save. And see how it comes up onto your phone just like that? Please take the poll on what your favorite NYC cuisine is. So if I open that up, it'll take me directly to that poll to answer that question. And I'm a pizza guy, so I'm going to click pizza.
You got the CA branding there. Cool.
Yeah, so then you just click submit my answer, and you'll get the real-time updates into this. So if everyone was taking it, you'll see real-time updates by clicking refresh results. It can be pretty powerful, as you can see. But yeah, that's the polling section. Any questions around that?
I love that.
Good, good. All right, so the last two steps is verification of venue information. So we've covered everything in the meeting information. So we want to go one level higher to the venue to make sure we're branding everything for the New York EBC appropriately. So you'll notice that there's 79 meetings associated with the New York EBC. Obviously, that one's probably is going to be the biggest venue. So I hit edit, and it's going to pop up a lot of information here. Now, all of this is pulling into the app, which you'll see. Let me put this in right here. And I'll scroll down as much as possible as I can. But everything from this image right here, where you see the venue list right here of your EBC, is populating from here. And then the banners up on top, if you click into the meetings, up here that cycle up on top are actually being rotated by what you associate here. So this is a one-time setup per venue, but we recommend for EBCs to update this maybe once every quarter, just with new images or new branding as you may have it. But yeah, you have up to 6 banners which you can cycle up on top here. So right now we just have these 2 that are going, and then you can add multiple travel and logistics information. So if you click in the travel and logistics down here, it's going to populate all of your maps. So I have the New York EBC map, which is right here on the bottom, and then you have your dining in hotels, which is Omni Birthplace, Omni and the Modern, and then the activities are your entertainment section. So I put Connolly's Pub for right now, but this can be updated as frequent as possible. Just keep in mind, it's gonna. Yeah, go ahead, Leon.
Sorry, one note. So I want to interrupt on this one. Sorry. One note on that activities button. We would remove that button once we integrate the My Itinerary. So that would be a feature that would go away, and it would turn into, if you are setting up, travel from the airport and all that in Briefing Edge, that particular feature would be replaced with that.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. So like I said, this is a one-time setup typically, and then you just come in for minor updates as you move forward. So I want to make sure this is in Eastern. There we go. And everything else looks correct. So this number that you saw for the EBC can be switched out if you need to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So the last step then is to publish the meeting. But this meeting's already been published. But just so you guys know, after you've updated everything, you just come in here and hit this publish button, and it'll publish to the app. It's as easy as that.
And again, I just want to reinforce this. Because the default is going to be don't send an email, we can just go in and publish it and not worry about it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Great. So let's go ahead and check out some of the stuff. So I know I associated some content items to a couple of these, like the first one. So if I click on that, you'll notice that there's the button eContent available, and it shows who the discussion leaders are. If I want to show the rest of the attendees in that agenda item, I just click Show Attendees, and it'll populate. Oh, I know we've hit the hour too, so we might be low on time, but if I click on eContent, it's going to take me to that. This is the home page. So if I hit View, it'll actually take me to that website. Conversely, if it was a PDF, it would just open up that PDF.
And that could be the same like under speaker, like if you say we had a CA Financial Services page, we could put that under the discussion leaders section.
Yeah, under their specific agenda item, correct.
Right, and how difficult is it to upload the photographs? Or do they come from somewhere automatically? How do we get those photographs? I think it's great to be consistent with that.
Yeah, with I think I showed that to you. So you're talking about like Patricia's silhouette right here, correct?
Everyone's picture, yeah. The speaker and the customers.
Sure. So if right here in the CMS, if you go into attendees, and I search for you, Kitty, and I hit edit.
Oh, you have to have it.
Yeah. So there's 2 ways.
Right, but one thing to keep it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
One thing to keep in mind, Kitty, is that you can, when you download the app, the first screen that you will personally get is the ability to add a photo. And so you can grab a photo from your own photo library on your phone, or you could take a selfie right there and add it in. Now, but if you want to prepare this ahead of time for discussion leaders, executives, something like that, then what Neurons is showing you is the way that you can prepare it ahead of time. Now, if you do add a photo for someone ahead of time, what will happen then, when they download the app, what they will see is actually they'll see that photo, and they have the ability to change it out, but it will automatically load for them. Yeah.
All right. So they have the ultimate say over whether that just stay or not. Which is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So that way they can change their photo if it's an old photo or whatever it may be. You know how we all are replaced, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. But they can put whatever they want, right? It's just to show your personality. You know, they want to put a part of space.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't post my photo on any of the info.
Oh yeah, I saw this yesterday.
Yeah, so they just chose their own photo and they put Jennifer Lawrence in. Well,
There you go. That's not bad.
I saw that yesterday and it's blonde. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Great.
No, I know. Anybody who hasn't met me yet is going to be pretty disappointed.
You don't have all those nutritionists working on you every day.
Yeah,
Plastic
exactly.
surgeons.
Years younger. Yeah. So am I.
Great. So that concludes our training. Are there any questions based on what you guys saw? I'll be forwarding everyone on this call as well as Charlene a document of how to go by this step by step, as well as the training, this video, as soon as I upload it to YouTube. So keep an eye out for that. And also,
When's D-Day? When are we getting started?
Yeah. So that's great.
Exactly.
Wonderful. I'm glad you asked that. So what I'll do is I'm going to set everyone up on this email thread or on this calendar invite with admin rights to the back end. So you can play around with it as soon as I forward you that information today.
Yeah,
And then the link to download it, if you just, and it didn't work for me, but you guys tried, it's engage dash just, yeah, it's engage dash VA. Is that right?
Yeah, and let me show you how you guys can.
There shouldn't be a dash.
Yeah, there isn't a dash.
No, there's no.
Yeah, sorry.
that's the App Store.
Mm-hmm.
Website you're going to.
This is the App Store.
Well, if you go to App Store,
App Store, engageda.com. Okay.
Yeah. And then hit
just
search.
engage VA.
Yeah, engageda. All right.
Where's the search?
Are we working with Design Reactor anywhere else in the company? Or just starting within the team?
No, it's starting with us. So once we get comfortable,
Hmm.
we can access the intent is to share it with field marketing and allow them to use it for local events as well.
Yeah, so we've submitted that last night to change.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so for right now, to search for the app, yeah, Haley, you're right. You'd have to search CA space CX, but that name is going to change as soon as they update the app. So we submitted that last night, and
Thank you, Katie.
yeah. And I can't search right now, but I don't know why my iPhone doesn't want to search. But yeah, it's as easy.
Bandwidth is not good.
Huh?
No, I really like it. I think it's very clean and intuitive. I think it's everything we've been looking for. I can't think of anything. I mean, obviously the logistics thing is coming. That's really more of a briefing edge thing. But I think it's very usable and